Epithelium. Epithelium is simple and stratified. This is based on the number of layers of cells on the basement membrane. In simple, there is a single layer of cell. And for stratified, it is multiple. That is just more than one or many. But again, simple and stratified can be classified into different epithelium based on the shape of the cells. So it's based on the shape now. That is simple squamous, simple cuboidal, and simple columnar. Suppose the shape is like this when we see on the bird's eye view, and the nuclei are single, central, roundish. These are the squamous cells, and when present on the basement membrane in a single layer, they appear like small hillocks, and the nuclei are placed towards the base, and this is called simple squamous epithelium. Again, when the cells are cuboidal and they are standing on the basement membrane in a single layer, here we find that the nuclei are present at the middle, roundish, and this is called the simple cuboidal epithelium. Simple cuboidal epithelium. Similarly, when the cell shape is rectangular or columnar, here the nuclei will be ovalish, more pushed towards the base. This sort of epithelium will be called simple columnar epithelium. However, there is a fourth type of epithelium which is simple. It is a variant of the simple columnar only. Only that the height of the cells from the basement membrane are variable. Hence, the position of the nuclei also varies. That is, they are not equidistant from the level of the basement membrane. And this type of epithelium is called pseudostratified epithelium. You will understand why it is called pseudostratified if I explain it based on the low power microscopic view, as mostly it is shown to the undergraduate students. In case of simple epithelium, which is squamous, suppose the membranes are absent. So, we will find there will only be the nuclei, flattened nuclei placed on the basement membrane. For the cuboidal, similarly, the nuclei will be roundish and placed at equidistance on the basement membrane. In case of columnar also, let us see how it looks under the low power. That is, towards the base, the nuclei are ovalish, and we can hardly see the the cell membrane under the low power. Similarly, when we are seeing the pseudostratified under low power, where the nuclear heights vary, there what we find, when we see without the cell membrane, the nuclei appear to be at different levels from the basement membrane. Hence, they are appearing stratified by definition of the layer of cells over the basement membrane. But the nuclei are not at the same orderly level as we find in the stratified epithelium that I will show you later on. So this is appearing as stratified, but it is not actually stratified. Hence, it is called as pseudostratified epithelium. Now let's come to the stratified. So by definition, it means that multiple cell layers. Just as in the simple epithelium, here also the classification varies based on the shape of the cell. So there will be stratified squamous, cuboidal, or columnar. But this is based on the shape of the topmost layer of cells. A stratified means multiple layers of cells will be standing on the basement membrane. And in most cases, we see that the basal layer is columnar. Over it, there may be columnar cells or cuboidal or polypoidal cells. And in case of stratified squamous, the topmost layer will be squamous cell. The topmost layer will be squamous cell. And that will give it the name of stratified squamous. If the topmost layer is cuboidal, that is with a rounded nuclei, then it will become stratified cuboidal epithelium. In a stratified epithelium, where the topmost layer will be nothing but the columnar only, that is with ovalish nuclei towards the base, then it will become a stratified columnar epithelium. Now, there may be situations where you are confused about the topmost layer. And you are seeing that there is neither squamous nor cuboidal, not even columnar cells, but the cells are large cells. And even the nuclei are large. Even one or two nuclei are clumped together. And this type of epithelium is called transitional epithelium. Here you will find umbrella-shaped large cells at the top with their large nuclei. Now finally, I would like to emphasize that there is often a confusion between the pseudostratified epithelium, as I have already described, with the stratified columnar epithelium, the usual ones, suppose. Here the nuclei are at different levels in the pseudostratified. But if you see under the low power, you will see that though the nuclei appear in multiple layers, they are not arranged properly in an orderly manner as in case of stratified columnar. It is pseudostratified, and this is stratified. This is pseudostratified, this is stratified, where the nuclei are nicely arranged in an orderly manner, one above the other. So this is very clearly seen, unlike the pseudostratified. You will also have to remember that this pseudostratified, which is simple columnar, sometimes has these projections over the cell membrane. These are called the cilia. These cause the beating, which helps in moving substances across the lumen in which this epithelium is present. And this is often seen in the respiratory tract or inside the fallopian tube. So these cilia are characteristic of simple epithelium and not of stratified epithelium. So where you are finding cilia, you can go with simple epithelium. Where you are getting a confusion between pseudostratified or stratified. I mean to say that ciliated epithelium may be found in regular simple epithelium also. Regular columnar epithelium also. That is a simple type. But they are not present in stratified epithelium. So when you are seeing under the microscope that there are multiple layers of nuclei, that is while you are seeing under the low power, along with a layer of cilia present, then always go with pseudostratified epithelium and not a stratified columnar epithelium.